Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lamp Classic Remastered. This time we'll take a look at the 1987 RUF CTR Yellowbird. This is the final RUF to take along the course, which means it is the final German car, which means it's the final car from North City. 2 cities in 2 episodes getting wiped out because we're on the final stretch to ending this series. This is a CTR Yellowbird. Is a car that doesn't really need all that much in the way of introduction. At one point it was the quickest production car in the world, and yeah, just an absolutely legendary thing. I think the only real issue with it in the case of GT2 is there's no good yellow for it. All the roofs seem to use the same sort of 10-11 colours, and so as a result the yellow on this car does look a little bit washed out as opposed to that bright yellow that you often associate with the Yellowbird, but nevertheless, hopefully the performance of this will make up for it. All but one of the roofs is in the under 30 club, and all of the rear wheel drive ones are in there, so this one should be a decent way to end out RUF. Rear engine, rear drive, 607 horsepower, 1,104 kilograms. I believe this may also be, well, I know it's the final rear engine, rear drive car. Not really saying much because there's only these and the Subaru 360 for rear engine, rear drive cars in this game, I think. Could be wrong, there could be another one in there, but I can't quite think of it off the top of my head. Anyways, to find out how the RUF CTR Yellowbird gets along, it is going to have 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track in order to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is the Suzuki Escudo Pikes Peak version that car set a time of 25.696. The RUF CTR Yellowbird is unlikely to beat that. In terms of where this is going to go, the quickest rear engine rear drive RUF was the BR2, which set a time of a 29.186. So that's the sort of target for this one to beat. There's also the BTR Type 2, which set a time of 29.280. This has just gone quicker than that, as it should do, to be fair, because this one is about 70 horsepower up and 1 kilo heavier, so it should be fine to beat that. I do have to admit, when I was first sort of starting this series up again, these were cars that I were a little bit worried about driving. I thought these were going to be an absolute handful. As it turns out, they're actually quite a bit better than you'd expect in many ways. There are still issues with these, so it being rear engine rear drive means that you get absolutely fantastic traction out of the corners for the most part. It almost is four-wheel drive-like in the way these things launch. Really, really nice to have that. However, having all the weight over the rear axle is good for launching, but as you can probably tell, not so good for getting round the actual corners. It's great at getting out of corners, not so great at getting into them. It is understeer city from the front end of these things. Which isn't too surprising. I guess if I had to describe it, it's like some weird sort of mesh up between like a mid-engine rear drive car and a four-wheel drive vehicle. Like I say, interesting handling characteristics definitely leads to. That is definitely a good way to send out roofs. 28.916 from the older Yellowbird. Yeah. They are good handling vehicles. Well, they're good at once you're used to them. Of course, the way around the slight issues with the front end is to just use the four-wheel drive ones. And in truth, for however good these rear engine, rear drive roofs may be, and they are good, they're never going to be quite as good as the four-wheel drive ones. And to be honest with you, that would be my recommendation, is just buy the four-wheel drive ones. The sort of weight saving you get from having the rear engine rear drive isn't really worth it. You know, the likes of the RUF BTR 4 3.8 is still a second clear of this car, and this was a very quick car, so yeah, unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Could have gone a little bit quicker in that final lap, potentially, but overall I am very happy with that one. A 28.916 will place this into a 99th. Goes in between the Subaru Impreza WRX STI Wagon version 5 and the Toyota Supra Castrol GT500. It is quicker than an Impreza Wagon version 4, Impreza Rally Car 97, TVR Speed 12, the Ford Focus Rally Car, pretty much every rally car, in fact, other than the Corolla and the Evo and the 99 Impreza. Not too far off the Nismo 400R prototype. Obviously a little bit ways off the Nismo 400R, and I think the quickest of the Mines cars are up there as well. But in terms of sort of like pre-tuned from factory cars, definitely one of the quickest. Just a really good vehicle overall. Although again, as I mentioned, you know, four-wheel drive roofs, the CTR or the BTR4 is the second clear, the RUF CTR2 Sport is up there as well, as is the RUF CTR2, just the normal one, 28.3. The RUF BR4, 28.641. So definitely go four-wheel drive, but if you have to go rear drive, this definitely seems to be the RUF to pick, unsurprisingly. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I'll be driving something completely different. Until then, farewell.